So it should be streaming.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. If you're tuned in to logged in on our Zoom platform or tuned in or listening or watching to any of our social media platforms that we broadcast to, which would be Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. This is Lance Luke and Martin Pea. Our webinar is part of our Ask the Marketing Experts webinar series that we have. Topic today, AI messaging, better communication for everyone. So in the past, we never had the internet or newspapers or other forms of media like radio and magazines and things like that. So how do you get the message across to people in the old days? You'd have to do like smoke signal or carrier pigeon or send somebody on a horse with a piece of paper or something like that. But things have evolved, and now we're at the point where we have all these electronic devices that can do text messaging, cell phone, video conferencing, webinars, and all kinds of interesting things. So we're going to talk about a little how AI can help you in your communication for uh, mainly small business owners. So this webinar is presented by Expert Media Matters, which is a digital marketing company located in Honolulu, Hawaii. And Lance Luke and Martin Pea were the presenters. I want to draw your attention to the top photo of me and Mr. Jack Canfield in Hollywood. I got to meet Jack and go on his Hollywood Live television show. And I also got invited recently to co-author a book with him that's coming out sometime this year. I'm very excited about that because Jack Canfield is the guy who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul series that sold like 500 million copies or something like that. But exciting times. We'll see what's happening with that. Now, why do we do these series of webinars? And it's the Ask the Expert series. And we do it to help small business owners and entrepreneurs build, manage, and market online. We also do straight business consulting and coaching that doesn't have to be necessarily online or in the digital format. We can offer that too. And today's topic, as I mentioned, is AI, artificial intelligence, messaging, better communication for everyone. Let's go right into it. If you have any questions, by the way, please feel free to post it on our Zoom platform, either chat or the Q&A. Or if you're watching on various social media platforms, you can post there and hopefully we can see it and answer it. Or even if you don't have a question, you may have a comment, that's fine too. If we can't get to it during the course of the presentation, we'll respond after because the streaming is going to be, the live stream is going to be still on social media. And then also we capture our video, we're recording it, and we're going to put it on our website. I'll give you the details to the website. You can watch it later on at your own time and place, as well as other webinars that we've given on other topics in the past. So let's go right into it. AI, as you know, is artificial intelligence, and it's really going gangbusters as far as the communication and computer things. Like the power of AI in enhancing communication, we've become more efficient. The efficiency aspect would become more personal if you make it personal. If you don't make it personal, then the message may seem kind of awkward, like it's coming across as somebody else is talking for you, or even a computer's talking, and that's not really that good. Language translation, we're mostly in English, but there's ways that our information can be translated into multiple languages, either by text or audio. And that's pretty interesting. And then predictive analytics, we can use AI to figure out who our customer base is, our client base, who we should be marketing to, um, who like any kind of product or service that you may have, who is your audience? Who's your potential clients or customers? Okay, you probably know, but if you need help, AI can do that for you. And then with AI, there's enhanced security also, but that's a whole different webinar with security on the internet and things like that. And then there's chat bots. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I know, like, when I'm trying to message people online, I kind of know whether it's a computer or AI driven response message, or if it's like a human. Some companies, they're really good and it's hard to tell. Um, but some other ones, they haven't perfected it yet. So I can tell. And not only in the text, in the chat feature or email, but even on the telephone when you call, uh, they try and make it like sound like a live person. And some companies, it actually sounds like you're talking to a live person, but then you can kind of tell because the response you give, and then it gives you back a response, and it's kind of like a canned response that a regular human wouldn't say. Then you kind of figure, oh, wow, I'm talking to a computer here. Okay, so that's a chat bot. In the future, you're going to hear more about that, and you're going to hear more about um, people making their own bot, their own chat bot, their own AI person, and you're going to even see an image of that person that looks like the person, but it's not really. It's just an image, like an alter ego kind of thing. And that person may be emailing or even talking, and it's using the similar voice of the human that it's replicating. So that's the wave of the future. Then you have the NLP, natural language processing, where the AI is communicating and it doesn't sound like, or it's not supposed to sound like a computer or robot talking. It's supposed to sound like a human talking in the same language, or how the person actually talks. And it gets really technical. Everybody has a different way of talking, the way they pronounce letters, words, even the time where you start talking, you say something, and you pause for a little while, and then you pick it up. So uh, the technicality of somebody talking and their voice and the sounds they make and the little nuances of the silent areas. I mean, it all gets programmed together so you can basically fool people. And people have been fooled with this. There's a different kind of scams going on. You probably heard of them before. Some key concepts and tools, speech recognition. You got AI now that can basically, for example, I can send the recording of this webinar Okay? And AI will translate it into text. And then I have another program where AI can take a 60-minute webinar and chop it up into snackable short form videos. And so from a 60-minute webinar, I may have 10 snippets or short form video from the long form. And then instead of having now one uh, piece of content, I would now have 10. So when I post to social media or my website, instead of posting one piece, which I could, the entire webinar, and we do on our website, we can post now 10 different snackable videos or snippets or short form videos out of that one that we created. And we can do all sorts of things. And that's called repurposing content. If you're a business owner, a small business owner, the more valuable to repurpose one piece of content is amazing, because you spend your time giving a 1 hour webinar. Now, if you can create 10 different short form videos from that 1 hour, you're not re-recording or spending your time doing another 60 minutes of content. So you're already taking that piece, that one piece, and turning it into 10 other pieces. Okay. And then guess what? You could take the content from each short form video and create a social media post from that. So now you have 10 pieces of videos, short form videos, and you make now 10 social media posts or 10 articles for your blog, uh, all using that 1 hour time period of content. And you can do a lot more. I actually take that 1 hour webinar, translate it to text, and that becomes a template for a book on the subject. So there's a lot of different things that can be done from just one webinar. Okay, language translation, I mentioned that before, either text or audio, and then sentiment analysis. And you might say, well, what is that? Sentiment analysis. Well, if you don't know, what that means is that the AI is going to let you know whether that communication from the third party is positive, is negative, or neutral. And then it can create a response from that, and knows how to respond accordingly. So even like a human, if you're in customer service and a customer is irate, okay, and starts saying bad things about your service or your product, okay, you have to be able to know how to respond back. You don't respond back in the same manner dealing with a irate or upset customer versus a customer who's very nice and says, well, I bought this product and it really works and I'm happy with it. Oh, okay, thanks. Right. So that's the sentiment analysis definition of how to deal with communication, regardless of whether it's positive, negative, or neutral, or in between, or, there's a gray area. So some real world examples of AI improved communication: email filtering. If you use Gmail, and you probably do, a lot of people use Gmail because that's the most popular email platform. You can actually filter out emails by categories. Is it important? Um, is it something that is not, and you're going to save it to read later? How are you going to deal with this email? And there's sections on in the inbox, right? Is it regular email that you're going to get? Is it a social? Is it a promotional? And mine is set up where there's three categories, and then I take each one and I go through it. I either save it or read it and delete it, or you got to figure out like what to do with it. You can mark it as important. You can mark it as unread. If you read it already, but you want to read it again, there's different ways to categorize it. So email filtering, you can do that. And then, as I mentioned, chat bots and customer support. Um, a lot of times these companies are saving money. So instead of hiring like a real person to be on the computer chatting or emailing back, or even a real person answering the telephone, they're using the AI software to respond back, right, to the customer. So the AI has to be trained on how to respond, like what kind of correspondence is coming in, what kind of communication. Is this person complaining about something? Is this person wanting to make an order? Is this person wanting to return something that was already ordered, either because they don't want it anymore, or what about if the customer got it and they open the box and it's broken? Now they want to return it and get a new one rather than return it and get a refund. So the customer service chat department has to be trained in how to deal with all these things. And sometimes if they're not trained correctly, they don't know what to do, and they just keep repeating the same message. And then you may get frustrated, hang up, or log off and then call, right? But then good luck. If you call, they might say, thank you for calling. If you're wanting this department, press 1. If you want this department, press 2. So you're spending all this time and energy listening to all these prompts, and then you never get to the right department. And then when you do, you're put on hold, and then you get this message that's saying, you're number 56 in the queue. If you want to wait, okay. If you don't, give us your number and we'll call you back and you won't lose your place or something. Well, you feel pretty good about that, right? But what's going to happen when you say, okay, call me back, but then you're busy during that time and then you miss the call? Okay, then you got to go through this whole rigmarole procedure all over again the next day and the next day, especially if you're in Hawaii and you're trying to call on the East Coast. And when you wake up and it's 8 o'clock and you got your coffee and now you're ready to talk to somebody in New York. Oh, they're out to lunch. Oh, shoot, I'll wait. So you end up working and get sidetracked, and then when the time comes, call them back, right? Maybe before you have lunch or when you come back, and then thank you for calling. This is outside of our business hours, please leave a message or whatever, and then you can never get a hold of them. So I learned that when I have to communicate with people on the East Coast, I get up at 4 a.m. and I start communicating with them. That's where I can get a hold of them. Otherwise, during the time difference, it's like almost impossible. So anyway, some piece of personal examples here. Language translation apps. You can use your app. Google does that. You can translate it into different languages. There's even like this handheld device, and many people use it. And they go to foreign countries and they record themselves in English and they play it back, and it translates the what they said, and you play it back for the other person, and it translates your English into Japanese, Chinese, Portuguese, Italian, whatever, and it's pretty cool. I haven't used one, but I've seen a lot of videos of the demonstrations and all that. It's pretty amazing. I haven't seen one translate Pidgin English, but I'm not sure if they have that feature. So that's AI, for you. So let's talk about how to implement AI messaging in your communication strategy, practical steps and tips. Define clear objectives. Well, what is your objective? First of all, like you want to make a list of what things you want help in. What items do you need AI to help you with? So that's some of the objectives. And make it as specific as possible. Don't just say, well, I need AI to help with my communication. You got to decide exactly what you're going to communicate and what you're trying to communicate, and choose the right AI technology. There's so many different companies for so many different things. For instance, you want to translate or you want to help edit a manuscript, okay, or article. There's not one platform that can do that, right? There's numerous platforms out there. The most popular ones, as you know, is like ChatGPT, and there's maybe 3 or 4 main ones, but there's many other ones that can do different things. And then start small. Start with one thing that you want to do, and then test it out as an example. Okay. And when I'm saying one thing, it could be an email, it could be an article for a blog, it could be a short social media post, something small like that. And uh, if you want to get ambitious, you can even use AI to write a chapter of a book or come up with a title of a book or even write the entire book. That's possible too. So if you're interested in in the book writing, okay, the first thing you do is a topic. You have to tell AI, here's the sample topic. Can you give me examples of other similar topics? And it might crank out 10 different examples based on one. Okay, for instance, um, I wrote a book on working with a contractor, how to work with a contractor. So we type that in, we want examples, and it cranks out 10 different other titles that were similar. Okay, now you got the title. Now continuing on with the book, I want to see sample chapters. So it'll come up with titles of each chapter. If you like it, fine. If not, is it going to be in what order is it going to be? Chronological order or a different order? And then once you have the list of chapters, then you can go into each chapter and say, okay, here's the chapter title. And then you ask AI to write that whole chapter. And then when you get it back, you might look, well, wait a minute, this isn't like, it's on the wrong course. It's not even talking about what I'm thinking. All right, so then you have to ask for a more defined chapter or just to change the subject entirely, right? Then when you get the content, sort of like what you want, but it's not in the conversational tone of how you talk, right? Then you might have to do another run again and try to get it to, if you were writing the book yourself or you were talking, giving a seminar on that specific topic, how would you say the words? Okay. How would you phrase it? What words do you use? And it might come up with like all these weird words that you never used before. And that's not you talking. So you're going to have to change those words. And that's part of like training. If you have using like ChatGPT, you got to keep training it so it knows what you want. So continuing on, integrate with existing systems, whatever systems you're using, continue using it, but then add more AI platforms to help you. As I mentioned before, you got to train the AI model. You have to constantly train it. It's like a computer that you have to feed information in and train it to how you want it. If you're not going to train it, then all you're going to get is a bunch of generic information back, right? So you heard the term garbage in, garbage out. That's basically what's going to happen. So you want to keep training it and defining so that when you get the content back, it's like you don't have to do much. It's basically so helpful that it's saving you a lot of time. And then monitor and iterate. Um, you cannot just use AI and whatever you get from AI, use that. For example, you're going to use AI to create a social media post about whatever the subject is. Okay. So AI is going to create the post. Don't just take the post and then post it. You have to look at it and review it. And you have to make sure it's saying what you want to say in your own tone and demeanor. Okay, so that when you post it, it's coming from you. You got to make sure that if you were to write it without using AI, it's similar to that. Because people can tell. People that know you, if they tell you, hey, I saw a social media post, but it didn't sound like you talking, then I don't think that's a good thing, right? So let's sum it up. EMM Lucky 7 tips. And you may ask, well, what's EMM? Well, that stands for Expert Media Matters, which is the name of our social media marketing company. So let's go down, and this will be a handout. You can snag off our website and, tape it somewhere by your desk for reference. So we'll go down the list. There's only 7 items. Maximize efficiency with AI. Engage through AI-driven chatbots. Utilize AI for predictive analytics. Enhance personalization with AI. Improve communication security. Integrate AI into current systems. And train and monitor AI systems. Now, all of these are important, especially the training part. And we're spending hours training our own personal AI and trying to give it all the information because I want to create, I already have like a Lance AI that I'm working on, but I want to train it so that it could be used as like a chat bot too. So if somebody asks like building construction related questions, they can get the answer pretty fast without having to physically talk to me or email me. So we're setting that up. We're going to set up one with for marketing purposes too. So you have there's a way that you can have different AI personas of you. You don't have to have one. So if you do 2 different things, you could have 2 separate AI for each of your businesses or whatever you have. It doesn't even have to be a business. It could be like a hobby or something like that. So what you miss, well, if you tuned in, you didn't miss anything on this webinar, but previous webinars we've given on all sorts of interesting topics for business owners, ranging from how to get known, website, social media posting, how to give webinars, how to write a book, branding, and all that. And that's all available on our website. You can get the handouts free. You can watch on-demand videos anytime. And then what's coming up? We got some interesting topics coming up, and I have the list here. The next one is going to be AI publishing, tell your story in a book. And it's basically my first several books I wrote myself. I never used AI. But now what I'm doing is I have a whole bunch of books that I wrote myself, and then I have some that I'm using AI to help write the book or do the research. So um, I'll tell you at that webinar how I use the books rather than a business card. So basically, my book is my business card. That's going to be interesting. And then the next webinar in June is about AI publishing newsletters. How many of you business owners have a newsletter? If you don't, it's very easy. And people go, I don't have time to do it. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to send it. I don't have a big mailing list, or it doesn't matter. We'll tell you exactly how to do. If you have 10 people or 1,000, we'll let you know. It's very easy to use AI to create your newsletter articles, create a template, even just finish off the whole newsletter with images and that kind of thing. Okay, so that's going to be fun. And then the other webinar um, is about webinars. And basically, have fun sharing awareness through webinars. So we're giving a webinar right now. We're going to teach you how to do the same thing. So you can go and create your own webinar for your own company and talk about your own products or your services and all that. That's good. And, you could even use the platform to make even a commercial. Like I could use snippets from this webinar to make a commercial to promote our company, our social media marketing company or whatever. So there's different things that you can do. And here's our company information, Expert Media Matters, website expertmediamatters.com. And then this company is not only a social media marketing company or digital marketing company, we also do traditional business consultation. So we have clients who uh, aren't too concerned about social marketing and all that. They want to know how to create their own business plan, profit loss statement, all that. We can help with that. The other thing is, in addition to social media marketing, we have our own publishing company. We can help you publish books. We can help you create and publish press releases. And there's other interesting different things that we offer in addition to our social media marketing. We even have our virtual assistant department where if you need help, we can put you in touch with a virtual assistant that can help you with whatever you need, create flyers, keep a calendar, you have a special event, create a PowerPoint, all that stuff. How this whole thing started is I needed help myself. So I went out and looked for people to help me. And then that's how I created all these different departments that ended up with multiple businesses. Now on our webinars, we have askmarketingexperts.now.site. That's a pretty huge website. And we store our webinars on demand. We have handouts you can download. We have free books. The latest book that I wrote is about, believe it or not, AI, and it's called it's called Use AI, No Wondering Why. And it's on Amazon if you want to buy it at $14.95. But here's a tip. If you want to get it free, go to our website and download it for free. See, we're like bad business owners. We give away free stuff. We don't make any money, but we make enough money with our consultation and helping clients that we're able to give away free books and free information. And we found out that when you educate people and you want to help them without expecting money in return, they're gonna come back and knock on your door or call you or email you and say, hey, I read your book and really appreciate the information. Some of it helped me. but now I need additional help. So I want to hire you guys to help create social media posts and post it on Facebook to help promote. Okay, fine, we can do that. Thank you. We appreciate all the business. Okay, here's some exciting things. We're inviting you to join the Best Hawaii Business Directory. Join now for free. Okay, it's an online business directory. You heard of the Yellow Pages. Okay, this is bigger than the Yellow Pages. It has like 140,000 listings, and 99.9% of them are Hawaii businesses. The other ones are businesses outside of Hawaii that do business in Hawaii. And how do you sign up? You go to besthawaiibusinessdirectory.com and you sign up for free. You claim a listing. If you're already listed, you have to claim it. So we have your email address and everything, and it's certified. If you don't, if you're new or your business is not listed, then you can fill out the information and get a listing. Okay. And free things are good, right? You don't have to pay. But if you want to pay, there's upgraded listings where you get a bigger territory online. There's two other categories. You pay monthly and you get a bigger section on the page and things like that. But go check it out, okay? And I got one other thing. Small Business Hawaii, which actually publishes the business directory. Small Business Hawaii is a networking association of business owners, and it's formed to network, share ideas, and help promote businesses in Hawaii. So basically, this is a nonprofit organization networking to help other business owners, and we all like stick together and help each other. Practically every day, I'm referring out other businesses to other people, and that's the name of the game. And we want to continually do that to help each other out. Okay, so free stuff. And some final messages on AI. Use AI to your advantage. Use AI, no wondering why. That's the title of my book. How do you use AI? Well, you can use AI for your websites, lead generation, social media posts, blog content, and much, much more. We're real people using AI. We've been using AI since maybe December of last year. I mean, everything's like taking off. It's kind of crazy how this is going, and we don't know where it's going to end up. But it's been very helpful as far as saving time, energy, and money. For the amount of information that we get, that how we use AI, it's relatively cheap for a small business owner. You can't be spending thousands and thousands of dollars and not getting any return, right? So we get a lot of return. So you got questions, we got answers. And now it's the Q&A time. Hopefully you got the questions that come up. And if you don't have any questions, that's fine. If you have comments, just post it to help us. If you have any ideas too on future topics that we can talk about, we'll entertain those as well. And then, by the way, we're actually working on a small business newsletter, and we've been kind of throwing pieces together and all that. I'm not sure when we're going to roll it out yet, but it's going to have information to help entrepreneurs and small business owners. And it's going to be, you guarantee you got to get something, at least one thing out of it. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to spend your time reading it, right? And it won't make sense for us to spend our time writing it too. So we're busy doing that as well as other things. And Want to see if you guys have any questions at this point. So, Martin,
Yes,
I'll
Lance.
bring you on, and then let's see if we have any participation from any of the viewers. I mean, this whole idea is join the conversation, right? So,
Exactly, yes. And we've had a couple of questions come in, so why don't I ask away? The first one that we got received here was in the context of AI messaging, how do we balance the integration of advanced technologies with maintaining a user-friendly experience?
well, first of all, like I mentioned, you can't just use AI and then take that and post it or email it, or if it creates an article, you're not going to use that. You got to review it first to make sure that the message is there and it's like coming from you. It's your own voice, right? So look at it this way. If you were to write your own social media posts, people would know that it's coming from you. So if you're using AI to write it, you got to make sure that it's in the same vein, it's in the same tone, and it looks like you're the one that wrote it, right? So the technology is there for AI to crank out information, but you got to be sure that you tone it down and you mold it so that it becomes your own. And that's the whole idea. You don't want to be putting stuff out that is basically not coming from you, right? Although you're the one that helped create it. Okay, so um, user friendly, you got to make it easy, not too complicated, easy to understand. I mean, I've tested ChatGPT and AI and asked them engineering questions and all that, and it cranked out stuff that the average person can't even understand. I couldn't even understand half of it, and I have an engineering degree. So I'm like, this is not going to work. So if the end user who's reading or listening to the information can't understand it, then you just wasted your time. You wasted everybody's time, your own and the person that's receiving the information. But the idea is you got to tone it down to make it very useful and readable. And so that's how you balance the technology with the user friendliness of it. And if it doesn't come out the way you want it, just keep trying and trying again until you get it. Sometimes, if you don't tell AI what to do, it may end up with a 200-word article, and all you wanted was a 50-word social media post. So you gotta you gotta prompt it. You gotta give it more direction. You gotta give it more clues and help it out. Okay, so basically. Um, that's the answer. But if you have other questions, post it again or reach out to us later, and then we can try to help you.
Okay, Lance, that's a great answer. And just to add on a little bit, it's really um, AI in anything nowadays is really a learning experience between you, the user, and the model you're using, because the AI will constantly learn you about you, your style, what you're interested in, how you like to communicate, like you say. So that's the key. It's not a one and done situation when you're working with AI. It's actually a
Yeah, you're right.
real assistant that
I gotta
you
tell you this story. In the beginning, I was prompting AI, and prompting is asking questions or getting AI to write back to you, right? Getting AI to give you the information. And I was getting frustrated because like, what's wrong with this AI? This AI is dumb, right? It's like, why is it telling me all this stuff? And then I have to realize that I'm the one that's giving AI the information, and it's only giving me back what information I ask, basically. So if the question is so broad, you're going to get a broad answer. And that's not the answer that I wanted. So I may be thinking in my head what answer I'm looking for, but I'm typing in, prompting AI incorrectly without realizing it. And the more you do that, the more you go through this exercise and a series of exercises, then you gotta train AI, and you're gonna get trained yourself, right? Part of it is training yourself on how to use AI and what to do. And you should experiment. Just type in a broad question like, how my company sells surfboards. What can I do to sell more surfboards, right? And it may give you this long list of things and drawn out, and it'll keep going at it, and you might have to stop it going, okay, well, the question's too broad. I better let them know that I'm in Hawaii, right? And I sell not only to tourists but to locals, right? So the more specific information you can give it, the better response you're going to get. So it's like with anything. If you're talking one-on-one to a person, says, "Oh, hi, I'm here to help you. What do you need help on?" And the person goes, "Well, I'm a surfboard maker, but I need to sell more surfboards." Okay, well, you could give them a generic response on how to do it, or you might say, well, what kind of surfboards do you sell, right? You're going to have to know information, and AI has to do that too. So it's communication back and forth. It's two-way communication. It's not one way where you're just giving AI a bunch of words and telling it things and expect it to spit it out correctly. Sometimes it may take 3 times, 5 times, 10 times. It just all depends. But the more time you spend, and you should try it. It's fun. It's fun, but it's also frustrating. Um, a lot of people that I know now are using AI rather than Google. So instead of using Google and asking a question, right, they're using ChatGPT and ask the same questions. And to me, you're getting more information back with AI as opposed to online search engines such as Google or DuckDuckGo, right? Because and by the way, Google's changing their algorithms and all that to make it more AI useful. But before, Google will just give you links, right, to different other websites. So it might give you a definition of the word or whatever you're seeking, and then it'll give you a bunch of websites, right? The difference between that and AI is AI will actually type out the information for you rather than giving you websites unless you specifically ask AI, right? I'm interested in the subject of making a marketing program, right? So instead of, like, if you do it on Google, it'll give you links to companies that can help you create marketing programs, right? Or a business plan. But if you type in business plan, how to make a business plan, how to make a marketing plan in ChatGPT, it'll just give you all the instructions and all that step by step rather than giving you links to companies. But if you want to do it on your own, right? So like taxes, well, it's tax time now, right? So you could put taxes in a Google search and it'll give you links of companies that prepare taxes. That's not you want. You want to prepare your own, right? So you can go to ChatGPT and say, how do I prepare my own taxes? And then that's not specific enough, right? Because are you going to prepare a corporate tax return, or are you going to prepare a personal tax return, right? Are you going to itemize deductions? Are you going to use Schedule C, Schedule E, or what other schedules? I mean, it gets pretty complicated, right? So anyway, that's the whole issue. You just got to keep training it. But what other questions we got?
Oh, yes, Lance. Good answer, good discussion, and good lesson that, yeah, AI is a learning model for both you and AI. So great. The next question that's come in is a personal one here. Please tell us from your own experiences how your company is using AI to communicate with your clients.
Okay, well, that's good, and we don't mind. Okay, so basically what we do as a company to communicate with our clients, and we do it through social media posts. We do it through articles. We have several blogs. Okay, we don't. I'm not into texting that much. We haven't got there yet, but we also use email. Okay, so what we do is we have AI help us create a newsletter, and we have a database, and we create a newsletter. AI is helpful for that with some of the articles. Some I write myself, some AI, some is a combination. And then we finish the newsletter, and we have an email database. And when the newsletter is finished, a push of a button, well, we can actually push the button and it gets emailed out. It's an email blast, or we can set it for a date. And it'll go out on that date. So that's how we communicate. Email, it's fairly easy, and that's communication. If your customers or clients don't hear from you, guess what? They can forget about you. So you don't need to like knock on their door all the hey, I'm here, don't forget about me. You do it in a subtle way by emailing them a newsletter. Could be one page, and it doesn't have to be a sales pitch. You do it to educate them, whatever it is, right? If you own a restaurant, you may post a recipe to something, or what the latest dish is that you just invented. There's ways to communicate with people, and the more, if you don't communicate with people, chances are they can forget about you and then go to your competitor, right? So you have to keep in touch. Why do you think these companies email all the time? Reminders, a coupon. Here's a coupon. Oh, by the way, we have a sale coming up. We have these, we have that. So when you think about it, all these companies that are in your face, those guys are doing excellent marketing. You may get sick of it. Like, how many people get sick of I don't watch TV that much, but did you realize that the majority of the commercials today are they're selling some kind of drug? And I'm like, geez, I don't need all this. I don't want to even hear about it. I don't like commercials to begin with, but as a business owner, I appreciate it because when I put out commercials, I want people to read it and listen and hopefully call, right? So, or at least reach out to us. So, our own experiences, we don't have one blog. We have several blogs out there. We have various social media posts for different companies. We got a whole team that works on all these things for us. As you know, we don't have time to do it ourselves, so we need our team to do it. But if you need examples of our newsletter or social media, if you need examples of social media posts, go on our Facebook page, Instagram page, and then you can see it. If you need us to send you copies of our newsletter or what we're talking about, we'd be happy to send you samples, okay, or put you on our email list. Okay, so I'm glad that you asked the question, because we don't want to just be talking about stuff where people go, well, you probably learned that from a textbook or read an article. We're actually, whatever we're telling you, we're actually doing it ourselves. That's how come we're able to talk about it. We're not repeating an article that we wrote about AI marketing or whatever. We're actually living it, breathing it, doing it ourselves. We can tell you what works, what really doesn't work, and learn from our experience, because that's the name of the game, helping other people. So hopefully that was a good answer. We got any other questions?
Yes, Lance, that was a very good answer. And my comment to that is always communicate value to your audience. That's
Hmm.
what will get their attention. They're looking for value in what you share. So as long as you're providing some value like you do in all those different communications you just mentioned, people that are interested will pick it up. So my comment on that.
Yeah, good.
And the last question that I found here, I'll check if there's any others on the social media is right now, how can AI messaging improve day-to-day communication for individuals and small businesses?
Well, if you don't use AI and you don't communicate with anybody, um, you're not improving anything, right? So the message is that there's people out there that want to do business with you. They don't even know about your product. They may not know about your service or not know how good you are in providing your service. You have to reach out to them, right? And you could do it the traditional way of sitting down, spending time writing email out, writing an article, writing social media posts, that's good too. But if you don't have the time, and most people don't, use AI to your advantage. And if you don't like what comes out, you don't have to use it. Just throw it back and have them redo it, right? It's either free, and you can't beat free, but I'm on a paid chat GPT program, right? So I'm getting more upgraded things that I could do. So I don't, I turned my free version into a paid version because I needed it to do more. But for the most part, small business owners, you can do the free thing and it'll help. And I'm not sure how long it's going to be free, but try it out and see for yourself. If you're like us, some people are hesitant. Some people like I don't have even time. I don't learn. It's another thing I gotta learn this AI thing. But once you start, it's amazing to see your computer and it's just somebody's like on the other end typing and all these words come out, right? And it's like, oh, I didn't have to do that, right? So take it from us. It saves a lot of time. This is where it's going to go. So in the future, the businesses that aren't using AI, they might not even be around anymore because that's how the future is headed with all this technology and all that. So that's my final words. Martin, you have any other words before we wrap it up?
No, I think you've covered them all, and that's all our questions for today, it seems. So thank you so much.
Okay, sounds good. So on behalf of Martin Pea, Lance Luke, myself, thank you for tuning in, and please join us on our next webinar. If you need more information, just reach back to us, either email or post on social media. We answer every single message that comes in. Sometimes we might not see it right away, but we'll get to it. And we monitor all our social media accounts: Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. I don't know if I lost track of what we have already. Okay, so hope to see you at the next webinar. And on behalf of Martin, Pia, and myself, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Aloha, mahalo.